Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's open forum. Appreciate you guys all being here today. We have a very special guest here today to talk to you about a few things. Lots of exciting stuff going on in the lending world. Paul Massey, the founder and president of Samaritan Group Mortgage, is here to help you guys. Paul, let's hear it.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Brian. So yeah, a couple things that are kind of new and kind of exciting. The last time we talked about the program that we were rolling out for doctors, and we actually got that expanded to some other qualifying professionals as well. So I'll give you kind of what you may have missed if you weren't here last time and what it actually looks like today. So it's 100% financing, doctor loan. You can get 100% financing with no mortgage insurance up to $1 million loan amount. If you go up to 1.5 million, you only have to put 5% down. And if you go up to 2 million, you only have to put 10% down. Again, no mortgage insurance. They do not count deferred student loan debt. That's big for doctors starting out, of course, which is kind of who this program targets. And we got some other professions looped in there. So I'm just going to kind of read through that. It includes medical residents, interns, doctors of osteopathy, doctors of podiatric medicine, doctors of optometry, dental medicine, dental surgeons, orthodontists, general dentists, doctors of veterinary medicine, attorneys, chiropractors, CPAs, nurse practitioners, not nurses, and physician's assistants as well. Okay. So that is live, it is available, and we are ready to take applications on that. On top of that, something that we'll have for the next time we meet, and we've talked about it before, is we're outlining a pretty aggressive fix and flip program up to 90%. That's the one thing I haven't sent Ryan yet, and I will before we meet the next time, maybe next month. Also, Hometown Heroes is coming back. So that is on the budget. It's $100 million. It's going to go into the program. Sometimes people hear $100 million and they think that's a big number. It's not a big number. So that money will be gone in 90 days after it comes out on July 1st. So if you want a client to qualify for that, they need to get pre-approved now, and they need to understand that time is of the essence. That money will not last into the fall. Okay. There are some pretty wild new guidelines with the program from Florida Housing. So I'm going to kind of read those off to you, because if any of your clients meet this criteria, they will not qualify for this program. We'll be required to order tax transcripts on every file. They have to have 3 years of tax returns. Unless they're retired and they're not required to file tax returns, that's the only way you can get out of that. If they've amended any of the tax returns within the last 6 months, they do not qualify. Okay. The reason that exists is they don't want somebody amending their tax returns so they can get money from the state. So if they have an amendment within 6 months, they're out. Income changes and deposits. So if somebody's recently had a change in their pay, such as a raise, switching to hourly or commission, or starting bonuses for the first time, if we don't have a full 2 months of bank statements to support the updated income, they will not qualify. So if somebody just got a raise last Thursday, they're not getting Hometown Heroes on the new income, period. Employment or role changes. For someone that's taken a new position with their current employer in the last 6 months, again, we must verify 2 months of bank deposits to support income stability after an employment change. Okay, so those are the only new caveats to the program. Outside from that, rate-wise, the market has been pretty kind to us since we last spoke. Not dramatically, where there's a big conversation about how low rates are now, but back to the mid sixes is pretty comfortable. I've seen some 5s on 15-year options, especially with FHA, but we're sliding in the right direction. So that's a little bit about what's going on now. Let me know if you guys have any questions for me.
Hey, Paul, this is Ryan Brown. I have a quick question for you.
Sure.
When it comes down to the fix and flip program, what is the rates on that, and what are the terms on that?
So we're still ironing that out, but the rates are going to be, if you go to 90% and you finance the renovations, you're probably going to be in the 9 to 11% range.
Okay. In terms, as far as
It's going to be 30-year, but it's going to be, they'll want it to be reimbursed or prepayment penalty after like 18 to 24 months.
okay, all right, perfect. Thank you.
Good question.
What is fee for fix and flip property?
What is the fee? Is that what your question was?
Yes, yes.
Okay. We're still ironing that out, but it's going to be in the 2 to 3% range.
Paul, I have a question for you. Have you seen, now that the market is back to even or maybe even buyer's market, have you seen more FHA loans? I know when we were in a big seller's market, you didn't see many because they were tough to get sellers to accept them when they had multiple offers. But have you seen a lot more FHA?
A lot more FHA. So, and there's a lot of misconceptions with FHA. Everybody's worried about, the appraisal being that much different. Well, let me tell you guys, most appraisers that do FHA appraisals do conventional appraisals too. They're just not as specialized as they used to be. So it's hard for them to take off one hat and doing the other. So most conventional appraisers are looking at files the same way, regardless of the type that they're doing. The only thing that's going to stand out with FHA is any wood rot or peeling paint. Other than that, it's going to be almost exactly the same. There's not a lot to worry about there. But aside from that, there's a couple reasons why we're happy to utilize FHA again. Number one, rates are lower. Rates are going to be about 0.5% lower than conventional. So that's going to allow people to qualify for more. Number two is they can go up to 56.99% on debt to income ratio. For conventional, you're capped at 50. So you can qualify people for more with FHA, not to mention there's a lower interest rate. So now that sellers are, like Ryan was saying, a little more open to those offers because they don't have as much attention, we are able to give the clients a lot of time a better loan because we believe that we're in a decreasing rate environment. So, the only con to FHA really is that they can't just remove the PMI after they have 20% equity if they stick with the loan. So now that we think they're going to be refinancing in the next 18 to 36 months anyway, it's a great loan to put somebody.
Okay, thank you. Don, go ahead. Don or Diane, whoever's got that computer.
Question for you. Last time you mentioned the fix and flip program that you were packaging for potential rollout.
Yes.
Kiave was the back end. How does Kiave suspending and pausing loans in the state of Florida affect your rollout? Is there a different back end lender, or what are your thoughts on them coming back into the market?
We've got 3 different ones that we're making kind of like that we're kind of melding together. So it definitely hurts. That's why we're kind of not completely done with it yet. But we've got a couple other options that we're kind of melding those guidelines together right now.
And you haven't seen Kiave make a move to reactivate into Florida?
Not yet. We're checking on it every few days, but I haven't heard anything in the last week.
Well, we'll reach out to you offline and directly and see where that goes. Thank you.
For sure.
Paul, I got a couple things for you. First of all, I want to cover a couple things and we'll get to the chat question. I have on the screen right now the qualifying professions that Paul went through. If you guys want to get these flyers, we can send them out to you. Let us know. But I put Paul's email also in the chat. Paul, these people need to get on your daily temp report and see where the rates are going and stuff like that. And guys, if you don't get Paul's email already, reach out to Paul. He gives you daily updates on the rates. And that's very helpful. And anything else that you might need, Paul's always happy to help with. But I got these professions on here. You guys might want to take a screenshot. If you want to request it, we can send it to you. But it covers an awful lot. Paul, a question in chat. What are the penalties to get a loan with the Hometown Heroes program? Meaning, does it have to be paid back or is it forgivable?
It's not forgivable in any way.
Right. Yes, you have to pay it back.
Yeah, 0% interest when they sell or refinance it is paid back.
Okay. And do you have to hold on to it for a period of time? Is there any prepayment? Obviously not.
No.
If it's no interest.
No, because you pay it back. Yes.
Yeah. The sooner you pay it back, the better. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. If I give anybody a no interest loan, I'd like it back as soon as possible.
So one more thing I could tell you that I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Oh, one more thing I could tell you that we're working on is, especially as we come into the summer months, we've got a slew of bridge options now. We've got, options where they will not count the departing residents against them, and they can borrow up to 80%. We've got options where we will buy the house cash, and then they can finance it back from us for the same price after they close. So those will also be rolling out in the next 30 days. And I'll send you guys all the information on that too.
Yeah, we'll need that. So guys, email Paul, get on his distribution list. But these are things that you guys can be talking about. This is fodder for your social media. This is fodder to get back in the faces of your, with something to offer. You guys hate being salesy, and it is salesy to just say, hey, I'm your realtor. Give them something of value. Give them some information like this. All those professions that I just put on the screen, Paul told us about earlier. That's big news, guys. That's never been the case, has it?
No.
That's big news. Dr. Loan's available to, I couldn't believe all the things.
Yeah.
Anybody who's ever stepped in a hospital before pretty much can get a doctor loan now.
Yep.
It's crazy. So that's information that you guys, these are your clients, all of these people. So make sure that you're getting that information out in front of them. I'm going to put on, anybody else have a question for Paul? Because I'm going to put on Paul's verbiage that he sent me before, that you guys had asked about for that 1%. Paul, go over that again, please, for us. Not necessarily the verbiage, I'll get that, but what it actually is.
Oh, for listings, yeah?
Yeah.
So yeah, any listing that you have, we can do up to a 1% lender credit if the buyer gets pre-approved and chooses to work with us. You can also utilize this on your listings if you just want to vet, potential buyers to make sure you're not getting yourself into a contract that's not going to close. So one way that we can kind of spruce that up a little bit and not just say 1% lender credit is we can do a 1-1 buy down where they'll get a 1% lower interest rate for the first 12 months. That costs us about the same thing, so we're okay to offer that, and we've had a lot of success with that to make the listing stand out.
Fantastic. I just put the wording in there. You guys should be able to copy and paste that from there and go ahead and put it on your computer so you have it. I got one other thing. These Dr. Loans and all these professionals, it can't be investment homes, can it? Just their home residence?
Correct.
Has to be their primary home.
Yep.
Okay. So Daryl Hunt.
Hey Paul, how's it going? Hey, can you remind me of the rates on like a buy and a hold for like a single family?
Yeah, they're
looking at one for myself. So it would be for myself. So as low down payment as possible.
So as far as down payment is concerned, on conventional, 3.5 or 3% down would be the minimum if you're a first-time home buyer or haven't bought or owned in the last 36 months. If you have, then it would be 5% down, and those rates today are at like 6.375.
Okay, now this would be a buy and hold. In other words, I would rent it out.
Oh, then you're going to be in the 7.25 range, and you're going to have to put 15% down at a minimum.
Okay, say those numbers once more.
15% down for an investment property at a minimum, and roughly 7.25.
Okay, cool. Okay, I don't think any other questions so far. Thanks.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Paul, can you elaborate on the comment you just made regarding if you haven't purchased a home in the last 36 months as a first-time home buyer? Does that mean you can re-qualify for that, and who can qualify for that?
If you haven't not purchased a home in the last 36 months, if you haven't owned a home in the last 36 months, okay? So if you haven't owned a home in the last 3 years, then you are considered a first-time home buyer. So any down payment assistance programs, any lower loan to value programs, like on a primary residence, like we just discussed, you are eligible for that stuff. Is that cleared up, Ryan?
Yes, sir, it is. Thank you so much, Paul.
All great questions.
Yeah, unbelievable. This is a great group. Any other questions you guys have for Paul? Oh, a couple. Ann.
Even I have a few investment property, I'm still qualified for first-time home buyer.
No,
So
you
after
don't. If you've owned a home and if you are on the title of any property anywhere in the last 36 months, you do not qualify.
Daryl.
One more question. No income qualified investor, single family.
Say that one more time. Sorry.
No income. In other words, I didn't want to show what I make. Single family, I want to rent it out. Is that still 30% down or 25 or what?
20.
20. Okay.
Yeah, DSCR would be the qualification there, or you could do a bank statement program, either one.
Okay, cool. And the rate would still be around 7.5, or?
It would definitely be higher than 7. It would probably be, depending on credit score, it's going to be somewhere in the 7.5 to 8% range.
Okay, and just guessing average points.
There could necessarily be no points. It just depends on credit score and exactly what the down payment is.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
But there'll be options. There's some really aggressive options on no income investment property loans if you're okay with a prepayment penalty. So there's a whole bunch of options when you go down that path. So we'll just kind of cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, there's some investors that if they have a 3 to 5 year prepayment penalty, they get really aggressive on the rate. So we just kind of compare all options and look at all things equal and see what makes the most sense.
Cool, thanks.
Guys, I'm showing on here the what Paul sends out every day. So you guys can keep track of the rates, the trend in the rates, credit and LTV, etc. So that's Paul. Hit Paul up and he'll put you on the list.
Yep, you'll get that every single day.
Paul, do you want them to email you or someone else? Is there?
They can email me. That's fine.
Okay. All right. I just wanted you guys to see what that is. So email Paul. I just put his contact info in there. Paul at Samaritan-mortgage.com.
Yeah, and I'll make a note, guys. By Wednesday next week, I'll send you guys the bridge stuff that I mentioned, and I'll send you an update on the whole fix and flip thing too.
And send those doctor things again, please.
Send what? I'm sorry.
The doctor things to everybody.
Oh, the flyers again?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll do that. Perfect. Okay, so next Wednesday is when I'll do that, guys. If you think of anything else you want me to add to the email, let me know what it is, and I'll do it.
All right.
Hey, Paul, I do have one more question.
Sure.
How long does it take to get the funding for the fix and flip program?
It's typically they advance some of it at closing, but again, we're kind of seeing what we're going to do with these guidelines now because one of the investors is out temporarily. So give me a little bit of time. Give me till Wednesday on that.
All right, cool, no problem.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Any other questions for Paul before he goes? Do you offer construction loans?
We do have construction permit loans, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll finance the land and the construction costs, but they have to know who they're going to use as the builder up front.
Excellent. Guys, just so you guys know, Paul is very helpful. If you want to contact him and ask him about whatever, he does take time to work with you. Very hardworking young man. We're very proud of him.
Youngish.
Youngish. All right. Compared to me, you are. All right, guys. Thank you, Paul, for coming. FRI folks, stick around. We got lots more to talk about, but Paul, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of the week.
You too, buddy. Bye-bye. Okay. That was nice of Paul to come in. You guys, let's work on a couple of things. You guys have any questions before we get started with what I want to talk about? We've had some issues. So some of the things that we've seen lately, the good news is things are picking up. Bad news is issues are picking up naturally. So surprisingly, when the market's been slow, we've had just about as many issues as we did when it was fast, and everybody just wanted to buy everything, so they didn't care about anything. But now that the money is tight and the market is a little bit slower, it is picking back up. But now that it's a little bit slower, people are fighting over stuff. We actually had yesterday a seller trying to get out of a deal. And guys, I'll just give you a refresher. Sellers cannot freely walk away from deals. Once a seller signs, they're more bound than the buyer is. The buyer still has their inspection period. The buyer still has their financing period, but a seller cannot just drop the buyer unless the buyer for some reason agrees to it. So they can sue for specific performance. Now, we are not attorneys and we don't give them all of this information, but we let them know that they are liable and that they could be sued, and they cannot just back out of a contract on a whim or because something terrible has happened in their life. I mean, whatever it is, a life event can happen and you still can't just back out. So they can be held liable. They can be, you can just Google it. You can do whatever you want. Can a seller back out of a contract, a real estate contract in Florida? And it will tell you they cannot do it. Or you can ask me, but I'm going to say I'm not an attorney, but yes, they are liable. A lot of times they'll either have to buy their way out or they can be sued for specific performance. A buyer can force them to sell if the court goes along with it. But typically they'll settle before that, and the seller will give them, whatever they spent on appraisal and inspections and a few more $1,000s to walk away. Typically we'll do it for a buyer. But a lot of times buyers make decisions. The buyers have a lot of expenses that they do. If the seller tries to back out the last minute, buyer now has sold their home. Buyer's going to have to get a place to live for a while. Buyer's got lots of expenses piling up. A moving truck, a this, a that, everybody's coming and they've got nowhere to go. And that happens sometimes just out of bad luck, and something could go wrong with their loan or something go wrong with the house. But a lot of times it happens, or sometimes it happens because the seller tries to change their mind. And if the seller does that, the seller is going to be liable for all of that, all of those extra buyer's expenses, plus, pain and suffering and whatever else goes along with all of that. So that is a breach of contract if a seller tries to get out of a contract. It's a breach of contract if a buyer tries to, but usually it is. That's why we sign a release and cancellation, that the money, something's going to happen with the deposit and everybody's released of all their, a lot of you have asked, why is it a release and cancellation? You're releasing everybody, including the brokerages. We even write the brokerages down there. You're releasing everybody of all rights and obligations under that contract. So can a buyer be limited to the money that they put up? No, a seller can still sue them for more money unless they sign that release and cancellation. So if a buyer backs out of a contract, or a buyer just decides not to close at the last minute, and the seller has spent a bunch of money getting out of the house and doing all this stuff, and the deposit is only $2,500, the seller can sue the buyer because it is a contract and you're not limited to the deposit. Typically, we think they are limited to the deposit, but they're not. So just so you know, that's all stuff that can go on. And I am not an attorney. These are things that I have seen in my experience. So that is either side can breach, and either side is liable for any damages they cause the other side by breaching. Any questions on that? Awesome. Let's talk, guys. We're having trouble with the contract. We're having trouble with the financing period, an understanding of the financing period, and we're also having trouble with these new forms still, with the compensation agreements, etc. So let's get into the compensation agreement first. We've been over that. I've got plenty of footage that we've done on the financing period over time. This contract hasn't changed since 2018 or something, when they took out the commitment letter, and now it's just approval. And so nothing has really changed since then, but a lot of people are having a hard time understanding that still. But let's talk about these compensation agreements. Seller to buyer's broker and seller's broker to buyer's broker. Which one do you use? Someone please answer this question. Which one do you use when the listing agent says, hey, send me the compensate, we're paying 2.5%, send me the compensation agreement. Which one do you use?
Seller broker to buyer's broker.
You can guess at that one, and that's a trick question. I should not do that one. That was a trick question. I love when you guys see. This is why I'm a bad person, because I love when you guys, I love when you guys get involved, and then I give you a trick question. You don't know yet. You don't know because the listing agent didn't tell you. It's whatever's on their listing agreement. Typically, it is going to be seller's broker to buyer's broker. That's the way we've always done business, right? So you guys are right. I would go ahead and I would ask them which one to send. Is it seller's broker, buyer's broker? But if they didn't answer my text in a few minutes, I would go ahead and send the seller's broker to buyer's broker. That's the one you can assume it's going to be 95%, unless. So the only time you know that it's not that is if you negotiated for your commission. If they said we're not offering commission, you can put something in the contract, or you can send me a compensation. You put it in the contract. If they say we're not offering it, you can negotiate for it. Well, they don't even have to say you can negotiate for it. You can always negotiate for it. And you're going to put it in the contract, then it's going to be seller to buyer's broker. Okay, because it's obviously not on their listing agreement. If they said we're not offering commission, then it's not on their listing agreement, and you would send them seller to buyer's broker. But put it on the contract. Nowadays, it's still the Wild West. I don't trust these compensation agreements, them signing it on time or whatever. We had someone one of you just had a situation. I don't know if she's here. I don't see her on the main screen, but one of you just had this situation where they tried to get you for the commission because you didn't write it down, even though they texted it to you that it was 2%. You didn't get the thing signed before you sent the contract, and you didn't mention it on the contract. You had a text from the listing agent that said 2%. Fortunately, everything ended up going fine, and they paid the 2%. And this just happened the other day. But you've got to get it signed or put it on the contract. I'd rather just have it on the contract because it doesn't go with the contract. The listing agent and their listing agent is going to be signing it for their brokerage. It does not go to the seller unless it's the seller to buyer's broker. So then you can put it with the contract. If they said that they're not going to pay it, then you can put it with the contract, but you're also going to write it in the contract. Don't give them the opportunity to sign the contract and not sign that with no mention of commission in it. That is where you're going to get cut out. We haven't had anyone get cut out yet, but we're going to, I promise you. And hopefully it won't be one of the 45 people on this call, because you're paying attention right now. Hopefully you're going to put it on both. Malvis, that is music to my ears. Please put it on both. Overdo it, just like you would disclose something. Over disclose. Write it on the contract right now, guys. That's what I will tell you, because I'm seeing these paperwork slips through. Oh, they didn't sign that. They signed the wrong one. They did whatever. They didn't send it back. I haven't gotten it back. They said they've signed it. There's shady people out there, and there are people who don't understand. They haven't been to the 43 trainings that we've done on it since last August or since last March when they mentioned all this stuff. So just write it on everything. It used to be super taboo to write your commission on a contract because it was on the MLS guarantee or agreement. But now it is the Wild West. Write it on there. Whatever they told you you're getting paid, or whatever you want to get paid, put it on the contract. I've told you guys this, and there's still more articles coming out about it. Buyer's agents are making more now than they did before, because nobody tells you what you can get. Says 2% on the MLS. Back in the day, you just got 2%. Nowadays, they can't say anything, but they'll tell you on a phone call it's 2%, or they'll text you 2%. You can still get 3% because that's what your buyer's brokerage agreement says. And one thing we really thought, we were really scared of, if you guys remember a year ago, we were really scared that people weren't going to sign these buyer brokerage agreements at 3% or at all. And you guys are not having a hard time with that. At least I'm not hearing about it. Anybody having a real hard time with that? And you guys, but you also know that there are alternatives. A lot of people don't know this. And I just see these from these realtor masterminds. People at brokerages where they should know better have no idea. And maybe they're just not going to training, or they're not getting trained on. But you absolutely have options too. If they won't sign the buyer brokerage agreement, you can say, okay, well, I'll just show you these 3 houses, and you're not bound to me for the next 90 days. You're bound to me for any house that I show you. And so before we show these 3 houses this weekend, let's go ahead and write them all down on this showing agreement and go that way, right? So that's, you're protecting yourself with those. The pre-touring agreement doesn't protect you from anything really, except for the rule that you have to have them sign it before you sign something before you show them a house, which that's a rule that I don't know who's enforcing it. So it's chaos. We don't know who's this. I mean, Freck's not enforcing these, or the DBPR, whoever that ends up being, is not enforcing these. The NAR can't enforce it. They don't have any right to go through our books or anything. So I don't know who's enforcing these. But you can not get paid if you don't have these things, and the listing agent or the title company needs to see your buyer brokerage agreement or your showing agreement, or even your pre-touring agreement. It does have a percentage on there, just doesn't say that they have to pay it. So only use a pre-touring if they absolutely won't sign anything else. Any questions on that? All right. I get a lot of questions about what to do for the amending these. There's modification to all of these things as well. Modification to buyer brokerage agreement. There's modification to the compensation agreements. Okay. Any questions? The buyer brokerage and the showing agreement are the same modification form. Here it is. There it is right here. Sorry. Oh, you guys aren't looking at my screen at all. Again, all of these are on Paperless Pipeline, and they are editable documents that you can go ahead and do. But this is a modification to the buyer brokerage agreement and the showing agreement. And there you go. So that's to both. I had someone ask that. Is it just how do I modify a showing agreement? There you go. It's the same form. It's a buyer brokerage agreement modification. Any questions on those? Nobody's having a hard time. Nobody in this training is having a hard time on those. Okay, awesome. All right, Malice has got something in there. Yolanda. You're on mute if you're talking. There you go.
Ryan, yes, I was trying. I cannot see what you're showing on the screen.
You can't see my screen? You can't see modification?
No.
Is nobody seeing my screen? Everybody else can see it, Yolanda.
Oh. Okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
I don't. What are you not seeing? Are you seeing my face right now?
I'm seeing everybody else, but I don't see the screen.
That's crazy. Is anybody else not seeing it? Okay. I don't know what to tell you. It's I don't know what to tell you.
Me neither. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Sorry, Yolanda. It's
Okay,
so
no worries.
I'll tell you where I am. I'm on the reference tab under Paperless Pipeline, and I just went down to the new forms, and I went to the modification of buyer brokerage agreement. But I'm just on the under the reference tab under Paperless Pipeline. We've got contract forms, we got lease forms, listing forms, we got everything that you guys will ever want. Miscellaneous links, new forms, business card templates, name badge template. We got all kinds of stuff. We got the new forms in Spanish. We got everything. New form tutorials. Those are ones of me talking about all of these forms and how to fill them out. Okay. So that's all resources there available for you. Okay, we lost it. I don't know if Nai was trying to talk, but
yes, I'm sorry. I was.
Okay.
I must have clicked twice on the hand. I haven't in a while, as you know, made any transactions, and I apologize. This might be a dummy question, but I don't know if I can access this, and if I can, what links or what do I need to be set up to do to
if you
have
can access.
Yeah.
If you can access Paperless Pipeline.
Okay. Now
I'm asking if that's what you're wondering.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't even think I have access as a realtor to the to FRI website or FRI intranet.
You do. You're active. I got you. Can you see the screen? You're active.
I do.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send you a new password.
I appreciate it.
A new welcome email. If any of you guys aren't sure, just ask. Don't ask me because I don't like this thing. Ask Solange, sales at FLA Realty. No, I've already sent yours, so you'll just have to. I've already sent yours. But
Thank you,
Solange
Ryan.
will help you guys with this. Sales at flarealtyinvestments.com. Solange, if you want to pipe in on, I know you're listening. If you want to pipe in on chat, that would be great.
I did
Daryl,
email her and it came back undeliverable. So I don't know if I did
don't
something
email
wrong.
Solange it's sales at flarealtyinvestments.com.
Okay.
Or email me if that doesn't work. Could copy me on it and I'll make sure well, now you don't need to. There she is.
No, I'm good. Thank you, Ryan.
All right, you're good. You should get a welcome to Paperless Pipeline email and with a new password.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Daryl.
Hey, it wasn't a stupid question at all. Okay, just to begin with. I actually go back to my welcome letter from 5.5 years ago. So that's how I get into the paperless pipeline. So I've got it saved under star on my Gmail account, and that's how I get into it.
Daryl, you are so old. You know who that sounds like? Sounds like me. So that's the kind of things I have to do. I search old emails all the time for stuff, so I can't remember anything. Any other questions? It should, once you get it in there, Daryl, it should, mine pops up automatically now for paperless. Once I type in paperless, it comes up and it's giving me my username and I don't even know my password. It just fills it in. So any other questions on that? Paperless pipeline, any of your reference stuff, any of your, how these forms work? Guys, I know you have questions about the compensation agreement and there are no dumb questions. In fact, I forgot she even said that. There are no dumb questions. So please, let's hear them. All right. That was your chance. Okay, guys. So great program. I have more stuff. What do you guys need to know about? Anything you guys need to know about? It's a great time to ask. Tammy, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing
I was
great.
trying to think of a question. But,
If you don't want to have one, that's okay. How are you finding business out there? When I say not how are you finding business, but how are you finding the market to be right now? What are you seeing?
well, for me, it is picking up a little bit. I do have some buyers kind of in the pipeline, but yeah, I just got a really nice lead and we're going under contract but well, I just closed a deal with a girl who is a really heavy hitter in Lake Nona. And she was talking to me and I told her, I said, well, I'm slow. She always has stuff. She gets all these listings. But she told me that one of the builders had contacted her, one of the guys that work for Builder, and wanted to get together with lunch to pick her brain because Builder is slow. And she's like, well, I'm slow too. So but I do think it might be picking up a little bit, but people are slow.
Yeah, people are slow. It is slow, but it is picking up. That's all we can do. Last month was great. This month is going to be great. When I say, well, this month, it is the last day of this month, but it's going to be great as well. Compared to previous month, not compared to April of 3 years ago, but compared to the last, 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, maybe more, a year and a half. Time flies even when the market's bad. Daryl.
I'll just chime in with Tammy. Yeah, it is kind of slow out there. I'm doing open houses every weekend still. I had one last weekend. I had 7 buyers Saturday. I only had 1 buyer Sunday, but it is what it is. I've got another one planned this weekend, but it's supposed to be nice Saturday and then it's supposed to rain heavy Sunday. So I'll probably only have it open one day. Also, I went on Facebook this morning and they had all the talk this morning about the new baseball stadium coming, which is right next door to where I live, Williamsburg. So I didn't say that I was for it or against it or whatever. I just put it out there and I'm getting tons of people saying different things. Oh my God, our houses are going to be worth $1 million in a couple of years, which they're not near that now. So just getting the stuff out there, informing people in my neighborhood what's going on around us and just keeping things going.
I think it is great to not have first of all, I think it's smart to not even have an opinion on it yet, because who knows if it's a thing, who knows where exactly it's going to be or what it's going to do to your neighborhood or anything like that. Any opinion you have right now is just pre-informed. And even if you did have a strong opinion for a good reason, no reason to alienate half of the community. and go ahead and blast it out there and tell them they're dumb, so I think it's great. And I think it's a great thing to share. Guys, when you see these things, it's funny, 2 days ago, we got I think it was Florida Realtors that said that their inventory is going down and that buyers are more active and that new home builders are looking for stuff to build. And then today we get one that consumer confidence is down and buyers are not going to be buying. You get, I think it was from the same source 2 days in a row, two different things. So, and then you hear Paul, and I have seen the rates improve a little, and they are, that 10-year bond indicator thing is looking like the rates are going to go back down eventually. So that is, and he's telling me that mortgage professionals are making business decisions based on that the next 18 to 36 months will be lower. So I think that is a positive sign, but you don't know. You're hearing different things all the time, but these things to you guys should be fodder for your social media, fodder for you to get out in front of people again, like the thing in Daryl's community. But I don't care if you don't have to be in Williamsburg for that to be important. I mean, that's big all over town, right? That we might be getting a baseball team or whatever, all kinds of more events and stuff coming from, I think it was pro wrestling to everything else that they're gunning for, which is all, supposed to be for our economy, our local economy, which is great. One reason we do have it normally pretty good with taxes here is because of all the tourists paying for stuff, and hopefully that continues. All right. Any other hometown hero expect to come back July? Okay, awesome. Tammy.
What's going on with the property taxes for Homestead with DeSantis? I heard something there. Have you heard anything or a final?
There's just I've only heard talk about trying to get rid of taxes altogether. But
I thought they passed something and there was a certain percentage, but I didn't really understand it, so I didn't know.
Yeah, I'll look into that. I haven't seen anything on it in a little bit. It was just talk from what I last time.
That would be great.
There's several different things. They're trying to reduce the sales tax from 6% down to 5.25%. DeSantis is trying to do something about either increasing the homestead or eliminating taxes altogether, which I don't see that happening, but anyway. But yeah, there's a lot of talk out there about different things because Florida has so much money. We've got billions in our bank account now, so they're looking at cutting things or helping people or whatever with it, which I'm all for, I think.
Yeah, it's not their money, so they got it from us. So but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, some of it just seemed too good to be, the property tax thing seemed too good to be true, which I'm sure it is. But they got to replace it with something. They can't cut sales tax and that. The thing that people like about the sales taxes and even the toll roads and stuff like that is that the people who actually use them are paying for them. The tourists coming in and spending the money are paying for the sales tax and paying for that and giving, part of the bad part about living here, and whether you're in the Tampa area, Orlando area, Daytona area, wherever you are, is all the tourists all over the place and, clogging up the roads and doing all this stuff and using our roads and, doing all that is hopefully they're paying for it, and they're paying for the bed tax and they're paying for it when they buy gas, they're paying for it when they use the toll roads, they're paying for it with the sales tax. And if they can alleviate, the best way to alleviate on actual residents is the property tax. And even if you're renting, you're paying somebody else's property tax. It's in their rent. Daryl's nodding his head. Daryl has investment properties. Daryl, you include the tax and the insurance and everything else when you make the rent up, right? Of course, everybody does. The tenant pays for all that. So, as long as the rental market will bear it. And right now, it's gotten to the point where some of these taxes and stuff are so high that the rental market might not bear it anymore. Might not cover your cash flow for you. So, they do need to cut that. If they can't do anything about insurance, then they need to do it about property taxes. So they're working on all that, bringing in more insurance carriers, trying to make that more palatable for insurance carriers to come in and do that. And you guys heard Dan maybe a couple months ago come in and say there's 11 new carriers coming, or 13. 8 have already been approved, and it's helping alleviate. At least insurance isn't going up anymore. It's holding steady. So because it's gotten ridiculous. So any other questions on that? And those are just, guys, it's important that you know all this stuff, and it's important that you share everything that you hear about this and about the new insurance companies. If you don't know, guys, I know it's work, but look it up. Google it. Google new insurance carriers in Florida, and it's going to have articles. And yeah, they might be a couple months old or something about new insurance carriers getting approved in Florida and what that will do to the insurance stuff. Get reasons that people should be buying right now, because rates are not great. But if insurance is going to stop going up and people are, I'm going to Google it right now and see what it says. And when AI gets involved with it, which they do, it has all kinds of articles and stuff that you can share. Make sure you put new homeowners insurance, because I just got a bunch of Geico ads and stuff on it. Yeah, it's got all kinds of stuff. New admitted insurance companies in Florida, et cetera. So yeah, it's got all kinds of stuff. Guys, there's all kinds of articles and stuff on the new carriers in Florida, et cetera. So you guys can get all that stuff, put that in your social media, find a way to do that, have AI write something for you, whatever you want to do, and get that out there. That's something you're providing a value to people, and you're giving them reasons to get involved in the real estate market right now. All right. Any other questions before we go? All right. There's no dumb questions. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for coming. We'll be on next week. We'll have something for you then. And if you guys have any ideas or anything you want to see in the upcoming weeks, something you want to know more about, let me know by email, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you, everybody. Oh, I want to ask you guys something before you go. Who is using a TC? Who here is using a transaction coordinator? Nobody on this call is using a transaction. Well, there are people. They're just not saying anything. Okay.
Ryan, sorry, before
Yes.
you let go the group, I put something on the chat. Guys, I know this is hard to find, but my son is looking to buy his first property. He's already pre-approved for an FHA loan for $250,000. He's ready for his down payment. His credit score is great. If you have anything coming up on your pipeline, I know the price range is hard to find, but I have seen some smaller properties out there. We just haven't won an offer yet. But keep me in mind if you have anything coming up on that price range, please. Thank you.
It needs to be in Orlando, right?
Yes, in Orlando.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And if you guys need Malvis,
Why were you asking about the treatment or the transaction coordinator?
I have an agent who's looking for one.
Okay.
I mean, we know some, and Solange does, but I didn't know if you guys had any personal. The agent is on this call. That's why I was seeing if anybody had anything personal for them, like personal anecdotes or recommendations. But we have people we work with, and some of them might even be on this call. Some of them are agents here as well. So, all right, guys, thank you very much. We will see you next week. Bye, everybody.